change is what makes you grow. So you shouldn't be afraid of change. You should be willing to accept it because change is what's really going to help you get really far in life. And it's really going to be the main reason why you become successful in anything that you do, because at some point you're going to have to do something different, whether you like it or not, whether it's booking your first trip, going to somewhere you've never been to, trying another way to make money. It's all going to be like you're going to be doing something completely different, but it's going to be very good for you. It's going to get you out of your comfort zone, and that's what you need, because change is what's really going to make you, I've already said it, but it's going to make you get really far. And I feel like anything that you do, even in little things, like if you want to get really good at video games, so let's say, for example, let's say you really want to get good at Call of Duty. Everybody knows Call of Duty. So you watch players like Scump and all these other guys. You watch them learn how they play, and you take moves from them. But what do you have to do to become a better COD player? You have to take skills from people that are better than you. Take tactics from that are better than you. And basically what I'm saying is, in some way, shape, or form, you had to change the way that you play the game to get better at it. So I feel like it's the same thing like with life. Like if you want to have a better life, you have to change stuff to better your life, in a sense. Whether that's learning from someone else, taking tactics from other people. I mean, a big thing in school that they teach you not to do is cheat. But in all reality, I think cheating is actually some of the big things that help things like businesses grow. Because a lot of them, some people might disagree with it, but businesses take ideas from either other people or other businesses, or they get an idea from others. They're using their resources, and that's how they skyrocket. That's how they get up there. They cheat, and in school they teach you that if you look at someone else's paper, it's a no-go. You're not allowed to make mistakes. You got to raise your hand to talk, and in the real world, that's just not how it is. People cheat all the time. People make mistakes all the time, and I really think that's a big problem with school, is that they should teach you more, not to feel held back from your mistakes, but be to propelled forward, because that's really what mistakes do for you, is they propel you forward, because it makes you learn new things. If you've never made a mistake, that means you learned nothing. You can't learn without mistakes in your life. So don't be afraid to make a mistake, because everybody's going to do it. Nobody is perfect, and you got to get used to that. You just have to embrace the mistakes that you do make. I made a mistake with my dog, and he bit me, and now I have a huge ass cut on my finger. I made a mistake. Now, in this sense, I'm still going to do the same thing again tomorrow and just mess with him again. But in another sense, when you make a mistake, then usually you'll learn from it and you'll do something different. Now, obviously, don't be like me and just don't do the same thing again, but I know I'm going to. But that's a perfect example of mistakes happen. It's just how life is. Can you imagine how boring it would be if you just never made a mistake? If everybody was 100% perfect? Because you would literally learn nothing. There'd be no depth in anyone's character. There'd be no depth in life. There'd be no depth in nothing. If you never changed, imagine if you never changed where you're at or what you want to be like. For example, let's say you're at the very, very bottom part of your life. Let's talk about money. Let's say you're the poorest of poor of your life, and you want to get up to the richest and most successful part of your life. How is that going to happen? Now, this sounds like pretty common sense. Well, you got to change something. It's common sense in a sense, but it's not as common as you would think, because it's like when people, okay, for example, I had a conversation with my grandma, when I first got my permit, and we were talking, and she threw me the keys to her truck and told me I could drive to her house from the gas station. So obviously I was scared a little bit, but I was driving, and she was just talking to me, and she was like, whatever you do in life, whatever job you get into, or, whatever you get into in life to make money, so job, make sure it's something that you actually enjoy doing, because it's just going to make it so much easier. And this is something that everybody gets told, but the thing is, nobody listens. Nobody ever listens to that, because they fall in the same footsteps as that, like they do. For example, if they're telling you this, there's a good chance that they either A, they just genuinely just want to give you good advice, or B, they're in that situation themselves, so they're trying to tell you to do something different. They're trying to tell you to change. Don't follow their path. Do something different so that you can enjoy your life more, have a higher quality of life. And that kind of stuck with me. And it's something that's like really, really simple, as just whatever you do in life, make sure it's worth it. But a lot of people get told this like every day. They get told it all the time. They get told that whatever they do in life, they should make sure they love it, and that's it. And it's as simple as that. Make sure you love your job. Now, people just don't listen to that. They really just don't. They'll go work the job that they hate and not even think anything of it, and next thing you know, 50 years down the line, they're retired and they're like, well, what did I even do with my life? And that's exactly what it is. You didn't change. You were so stuck in staying the same schedule, same consistent. And yes, consistency is nice, but you're going to have to sacrifice some things when you change, especially if you want to change for like the better of yourself in anything. You're going to have to sacrifice. Something is getting sacrificed to make that change, whether it's your time, money, job, people around you, anything. Something's getting risked, something's getting sacrificed, and people don't like that. So like you see all these rich people talking about, or like all these like YouTube gurus, and yes, they are gurus, and some of them do like spew bullshit, but what I'm saying is some of them got a point. When they tell you to leave your hometown, some of them take it a little too far, and they're acting like you got $1,000 in your bank account, you got to dip to Miami. I'm not saying all that, but like get a taste of what it's like to be out there in the world, and then come back and see if the life you've been living is what you want to stay in, or if the life that you just visited is something you would be interested in. You know what I'm saying? Is get out there a little bit, like test the waters. Like for me, right now I'm saving a bunch of money to go on a trip with some friends for like a graduation like celebration trip. And I'm doing it obviously for the fun of it, and I'm celebrating like graduating high school and this and that, and I think it'd be fun. I've never been on like a plane or anything, so I think it'd be a cool experience, and I'd be away from like the parents and the family. It'd be just me and my friends out enjoying time, and just it's a trip. But the way I'm thinking of it is, yes, I'm doing this for fun. Yes, I'm doing it as a celebration, but I'm also doing it to kind of like get an understanding of like, what's it like to be in somebody else's shoes? What's it like to be in this area? What's it like to, do these activities every day? Like if you go from let's say you go from the northern end of the world and you go all the way to southern, it's a completely different life. And this is pretty obvious, but what I'm saying is you're learning how other people live. You're learning what it's like to be in that kind of environment. So you're just testing the water. You're seeing, is this the kind of life that I would like more than the life I'm living now? And if the answer is yes, do I want to move? And if the answer is yes to that too, what am I going to do to move there? Obviously, you got a lot more things to worry about. You got financial stuff, licenses, all that. You got to figure all that out. But the point is, don't like stay in just one area your entire life. Get out there a little bit. I think everybody should at least travel once in their life, whether it's to across the country or to a completely different country. Travel once, just to get an experience that is not so secluded in your little like hometown. Like for me, I live in a very small hometown, so it's a very, very different world out there, and it's pretty easy for me to get a different experience anyway because I live in such a small town. But yeah, just get a feel of what it's like to be in somebody else's shoes, and just get out of your environment a little bit, change, and just see how that would benefit you. Are there activities that you can only do there if it's in like a warmer area? You can't surf in the North End. You can't surf in the Midwest. but you can surf in the coast area. I should change that, not northern. You can, basically what I'm saying is going from somewhere where it has no ocean, no nothing, no lakes or anything, and going to an area where it has the ocean right there, completely different activities that they're into. So what I'm saying is just get a different experience, change a little bit, and just see how much it will benefit you and see how much better you'll feel. You know, and just change. Don't be afraid of change. Accept it, allow it to happen, and see where your life can go. But other than that, I gotta go, and life isn't too short to make a change.